This is the Bella Networking Podcast, and you are listening to episode 6 of Turn Coffee into Clients podcast show. And I'm your host, Bella Networking Guru, the networking expert and the networking speaker. Event organisers and conferences hire me as a business networking speaker. If you'd like more information about myself as a speaker or more information about the podcast show, visit turncoffeeintoclients.com. In this episode, I have an entrepreneurial guest, which I'm so excited about. And if I had to choose anybody to be my first guest, it would be Clayton Coke. I have known Clayton for 10 years and I'm so excited that he's joined me here today. So without further ado, Clayton, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Clayton M. Coke. I'm the founder and managing director of a company called PRMS Limited, and we are a company that provides late management or late payment management services for business.
Clayton, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you very much for inviting me. I'm pleased to be the first person.
I know. Excellent. When did you launch your business, Clayton?
Oh, a long time ago. Yeah, I know. It makes me seem like I'm
feeling the wrinkles too. It's been 10 years, so I know.
So, well, I started just a little bit before you. I started, next month will be 18 years that I started PRMS.
Fantastic. And just explain the services. How do you help clients and who tends to be your target market?
Of course. We basically provide 3 main pillars in terms of our business: late payment management, late payment recovery, and late payment training. Now, obviously, the word late payments get used a lot because we work with SME businesses and professional services businesses in order to help them to look at the finances in terms of what's going out, what's coming in, and how to regulate that. And in doing so, use that money in order to help grow their business.
Absolutely. I love that you describe that well. As I've known you for 10 years, because I met you at the start of my business. And I want to clarify something, because we do see each other at networking events.
Indeed.
And I hear conversations. As soon as you say debt management consultancy or debt management services, people do think, and I've heard it in the networking event, they think you go to the clients with a baseball bat. Let us clarify.
We do need to pick that up, because I think the difficulty is what people don't understand is that we're dealing in the corporate world. So it's not like an episode of EastEnders where people are saying, you owe me money, come round here, I'm going to beat you up. It's not really
Free
that kind of world.
And you're out.
Exactly. It's not really that kind of world. We're dealing in a world where people have contracts, they have invoices, they have terms of business. But the problem is that a lot of people are really good at getting the business.
Yes.
And we'll come back to you when we discuss your coffee meetings.
Absolutely.
Coffee meetings are all about getting business.
Absolutely.
All about building relationships. But like anything, just like a marriage, relationships and business can break down.
Absolutely. And you've hit a key word that I would like you to highlight and perhaps share one tip, because you and I are very much on the same page on a lot of things, especially about prevention in business, because relationship is like prevention. If you're dating someone or going to a marriage, you have a talk, what sort of relationship you want. So when you have a new client, what can be a tip as prevention so you don't have a late payment and you're not chasing for invoices?
The thing is, the easiest thing is for people, as you said, to be on the same page. Now, the simplest way sometimes is that you've got a contract, they've got a contract, or you've both got a joint contract, and you're working together. That's the easiest way, because you're both reading from the same page.
Absolutely.
That's the easiest thing.
An agreement.
Exactly. But the problem is that most people don't formalize their agreements. It's like when 2 people are dating, and I use dating as because it's a great analogy.
I agree with
and
you.
You've got people there that say together, I really like you. And another person says, yeah, I like you. Yeah, baby, I do. But the fact is, are we in a relationship or we are not in a relationship?
Exactly. Am I your girlfriend? Have you put the statuses yet? Or am I your client?
Exactly. And people are looking on Facebook in order to establish the Facebook.
I agree.
Whereas at the end of the day, back in my day, in the long distance days, where if you wanted to form a relationship with somebody, at some point you would work out whether or not you were going steady or you were an item or whatever.
Absolutely.
And it's the same thing in business.
Clear the terms of agreement.
Exactly.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Now, what is the process if one of our viewers, be in 2020, Brexit is coming, some business owners think they may have the budget and they hire and then they don't pay on invoice? What's the process? If somebody needs your service, how do they get in touch with you? And then do you organise a coffee meeting to meet with that new delegate?
Now, that's an interesting point that you raised. If they want to get in touch with us, we're very, very active on LinkedIn. Incredibly active. We post on LinkedIn every single week, sometimes every single day. Since we've had our own podcast, The Cash Flow Show, we're literally posting every other day. So that's a very easy way to get. And
it's good for credential as well, to find out you're good for your services.
Indeed, because what people want to see, they want to see that you have a pedigree. They want to see you have a history. They don't want to see that you've literally set up shop yesterday, because we have the pedigree. We have the connections, we have the testimonials, we have the experience, we have the background. And literally the problem is for most people don't know who to turn to.
Absolutely.
And the fact is somebody knows somebody who knows somebody who knows us.
Absolutely.
So that's what we would always say. In terms of coffee meetings, it depends on the status of the particular situation they have. Now, if somebody owes you 30 grand and you need to meet your VAT payment, you don't want to sit around drinking coffee.
Let's just get to it. I need to get my invoice paid.
Exactly. You don't want to have that discussion.
Delay.
Yeah, what you want is you want to be able to basically know that you're passing your details and your documentation to a professional who is going to be in a position to make things happen. Absolute
action.
Yeah.
You're critical here. It's all about money needs to be paid. A service has been rendered.
Correct.
So payment, so it's action. Agreed.
Most definitely.
So I'll share your details in the description box.
Thank you very much.
First point of call, obviously you have your website. Go to LinkedIn and search PRMS or search Clayton Coke.
Correct.
And they will find you, absolutely.
Yeah.
You are tuned in to episode 6 of Turn Coffee into Client podcast show. And today I'm joined by my gem networker, Clayton Coke, who is the owner and founder of PRMS Limited, which is a debt prevention and late management business service. Clayton Coke's details will be in the description box, or you can visit his website prmslimited.co.uk. And guys, just a reminder, my upcoming seminar will take place on Monday the 17th of February, nearest tube station St Paul's Tube, London. Head over to the website turncoffeeintoclients.com to register to attend. So we're now going to be discussing Clayton's networking activities, because if anything, I would say, Clayton, if there's a second guru, it has to be you.
Do you know something? I am proud to accept that
Definitely.
Well, we must have something like 1,000 connections.
On LinkedIn. Yeah. And, I really have to respect you, because on LinkedIn, we do have that 1,000 people. And I must say, the respect that you show, there are so many people trying to get through to you, to me.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't even give an email. You don't even give a phone call of my contact details. You'll let me know beforehand.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't be... It's like, let's go back to dating again. It's like saying, back in the day, and I know younger people won't understand this in this Instagram, Facebook, TikTok era. If you saw somebody that you liked and you didn't have to know their number, you had to find a go-between.
Exactly.
And that person had to seek your permission instead of hitting you up on Instagram with some dodgy
So
email.
I really appreciate that with you. It's been great over the years. So tell me a bit about your networking activities. What type of networking events do you attend, and which do you prefer? Which do you enjoy?
Right. My networking tastes have been you know, people say that you should have a niche in business.
Yes.
My niche for networking events is speed networking.
Yes. I know you love speed dating. And you have tried to get me on speed dating.
No, speed networking.
There we go.
Please, ladies and gentlemen, be very clear about this. Speed networking and speed dating are two different things.
Yeah.
Speed networking, you have the aim of meeting other people for the hope of doing business. Speed dating, if you try to do that while you're speed networking, will get you a slap around the chops.
Problems.
So you want to avoid that slapped face.
So tell me why you love speed networking.
I think I realized very early on that nobody wanted to talk to the guy that was involved in debt.
Got you, because it's not that sexy to talk.
No, it's not that sexy.
So
I'm not an unattractive man, but it's not that sexy.
Yeah.
So therefore, the reality of the situation is, the bottom line for most people is their attitude was, I don't really want to be talking to this guy. You know, so for me, you know, I'm a sensitive guy. You know, I've got feelings. So therefore, I'm thinking, okay, these people don't really want to talk to me. So I then stumbled onto speed networking, and I tried it, and I thought, I really love this. And it works on two levels.
Good, got you.
It's actually a great filter because I would end up, when I first started going to networking events, I'd walk in, I'd sit there and I'd stand there for ages and ages trying to, and this is before I knew anything. I didn't know you then. I didn't know much about networking. I just would go into a room and try to create a situation where you talk to people. When people found out what you did, they'd try and duck into the toilets and stuff like that. You know, it wasn't that really where I wanted to be. And when I started the business, I wasn't that confident. So as a consequence of that, by doing what I was doing, I wanted to be in a position to look at meeting as many people in a short period of time
quickly,
and,
pass it back.
And that's what helped me build my business.
And you know, you have made the really great point that when you're networking, it is important to find the type of networking style you enjoy.
Correct.
Because one of the reasons that a lot of clients come to me and say they do not like networking is because they're attending the wrong type of networking event. And you've got only one chance to make a great first impression.
Correct.
So if you like speed networking, stick to it and it's fine. If you don't like where you have to make a pitch, because some networking events you've got to do a 60-second pitch, and that could be nerve-wracking. So really stick to that.
But you know something, sorry to cut across that, what you're saying, the difficulty with most people is, I think if you don't like networking, don't do it. Stay the hell out of the room. Because the problem, there are too many people, and I took one of my friends. He's an antique dealer.
Yes.
He used to be a lawyer. Now he's an antique dealer. And I said to him, "Listen, you could come along to this place and do some networking." I don't think he really wanted to do it. I know you didn't want to do it, mate. He didn't want to do it, but the fact is, he came along and he tried it. But one of the things that he said was a lot of people in there were just ticking boxes.
Yes.
They were just there because they were wanted.
Yes.
And they didn't want to be. If networking is not for you, send somebody else.
Absolutely.
Don't take up space in the room.
Absolutely. Find another networking alternative. And another alternative that can work is LinkedIn networking. That's a form of networking. So in some ways, I know you're saying don't do it, but find an alternative way of networking.
But I'm brutal. I mean,
absolutely. I do agree with you. One inspiring, there's lots of things I inspire from you, Clayton, but what I really love with your networking strategies is you network outside of London. You don't stick to your postcode. I hear you sometimes, or you're texting me that you've gone to Manchester, you've gone to Bristol. I'm like, this guy is not playing.
No, because what I realize, and this is for all those people who are on LinkedIn, what they need to understand is that if you go to, say, Wales, and you meet X amount of people, if you go to Wales and you speed networking in Wales, you're going to meet 30 people in an hour.
Yes.
Or 2 hours, depending on how long the speed networking lasts. You're going to meet 30-something people if there's that many people in the room. You're going to meet all of those people. All of those people are connected to 2 or 3 other people who are in Wales. So you're going to expand your network in that particular area. Because what the LinkedIn algorithm does is to basically keep suggesting you to people For example, I'm a member of the Royal Society of Arts. So anybody who gets on bloody LinkedIn who's on the Royal Society, they're pointing them in Clayton's direction.
I understand. I get it. And tell me, we have seen so many laughable things in networking. What have been some of the outrageous things you've seen at a networking event, or where a delegate has networked incorrectly?
Okay.
Where do we start?
Okay. I can tell you some tales of horror. Like some Christopher Lee horror.
Yes.
One of the ones recently I saw was a guy who basically, literally came through the door. The networking was at a bank. I won't say which bank. But came through the door, and literally everybody who came through the door, he was handing a business card to. And I'm thinking, damn, you're keen, brother. But okay, I thought to myself, let it slide, Clayton, let it slide. But the fact is, he didn't actually connect with me until 3 weeks later. And I thought, you went to all that effort to stick a card in front of my face. You don't know what I do. You don't know what I'm about. You don't know whether there's a synergy. There's lots of people on LinkedIn, for example, who are looking for synergy. And the fact is at the end of the day, if you are a taxidermist and you stuff animals, where are you and I going to have a synergy?
Absolutely. Find that synergy.
Before you start, I had a lady contact me the other day. And at the end of it, she's contacted me and said, oh, I'd like to know more about you. I'm thinking, you're looking at my profile. Come on, lady.
Be a bit more specific as well.
Use your brain.
Okay.
Because the fact is, if you can see my profile, you will have seen the people I'm connected with. You'll obviously see the last messages that I've put up. You will get a flavour. And what I say to people is, you get a lot of the coaches who are basically say, oh, we can meet to discuss what? You have to be quite selective on LinkedIn, because a lot of it will take you down a rabbit hole, which is going to take up your time. Absolutely. And your time is what you need.
Absolutely. This show is entitled Turn Coffee into Clients podcast show. In the 18 years of your business, would you say networking has been a positive marketing activity for your business?
I could never have done this business without networking, because it's simple as that. Because I would have had to spend a fortune doing stuff. For example, there's what's the networking? It's not a networking group. The London Chamber of Commerce.
Absolutely.
I joined the London Chamber of Commerce at the very start of my career. I was a dashing young blade, and I look good, man. I was there, and I'm ready to network, and I'm keen. This is the beginning of my networking journey. And by doing that, what they had was a newspaper, and it came in a shape like the Guardian, almost like a tabloid. And they said to me, you could advertise in that. Thinking, man, if I advertise in there, I'm going to have people ringing my phone off the hook. This is going to be crazy.
Switchboard.
Yeah. I'm not even going to be able to handle this.
Yeah.
And you know something? That was in 2003, maybe 2004, maybe. And you know something?
You're still getting contacted today. You're still getting contacted till today.
You're joking, yeah? I did not receive one call.
Oh, you didn't?
Not one call. I'm still waiting for that call.
Oh, right.
I'm more likely to get a call from Halle Berry really than get a call from that advert. Because at the end of the day, nobody knew me. I didn't know about branding.
In the beginning.
Yeah, this is at the beginning.
See. But had you had that opportunity now, you would know how to present it better.
Correct.
To get those.
I would know who my market was. I would know what my niche was. All of these things you learn after a period of time.
And I think what you've highlighted there, where a lot of networking beginners, where they make the mistake, there's no planning, there's no forward thinking for their networking, or they don't even think about it as a strategy of what results they want.
Yeah, but the thing is, I remember a guy once said to me, goes, do you do a return on investment in terms of the networking events that you do? And it shocked me, because I'd never thought of it like that. I just went to networking events. And the thing is, what I've learned now is that you don't need to go to every single event. I was like and I hope I don't get banned for this. I was like a networking hoe. I went to every networking at the end of the day I could find. And I was there, and that helped me to a certain extent.
Yes.
because at the end of the day, it allowed me to get my name about and people to know that I was the deck guy. Even though I didn't really like that particular term, but people knew that that's what I did. They had that awareness. But I went to everything. I went up, I went down. I've done my apprenticeship. But I think it's really important for people to have a niche.
Absolutely.
Know what your niche, know who you're selling to. Don't rock up and saying that you're going to sell sell cupcakes, and then basically you're selling it to people who are selling aloe vera products, because you're going to clash. That's not where it's going to work.
No, I totally agree with you. And also that is the mistake that a lot of networkers make in the beginning. They are so eager to network and they look at quantity rather than quality.
Of course.
Now, I'd love to know for 2020, who would you like to have coffee with, as our podcast is Turn Coffee into Client?
Okay.
If you had a choice, opportunity to meet somebody for coffee, who would that be for this year?
Mine would be Marcus Lemonis.
And share who is Marcus Lemonis,
not many
people that don't know.
Not many people know Marcus Lemonis. I am part of a group which exists, which is a WhatsApp group, and basically somebody mentioned that you should watch CNBC, which is a channel. Watch that channel because there's this program called The Profit, and Marcus Lemonis is a serial entrepreneur from America, and what he does is he goes into businesses and basically repositions them, repivots them, changes their strategy. And it is an absolutely brilliant program for people who say that they want to be involved in business. For example, he went into a company that sold mobile phone cases. But the guy that was the CEO was one of those kind of guys. He was so arrogant. He was so pig-headed. He was doing things like using the business for his personal expenses. And he goes, whoa. And you learn a lot of lessons from that particular program. For example, it will say to you at the end of the day, if this coffee jug that's in front of us here now, if that's worth, if you're selling it for £10, you need to basically have all your costings and for £4 in order to make some sizable profit.
Absolutely.
But what people do is at the end of the day is that they have something like this. They're spending £7 on it and selling it for 10, and no way can you make those kind of margins back.
Excellent.
So he's really good at doing that. But he's in the States, and the fact is at the end of the day, it's one of those kind of things. I find him fascinating because he's got quite a lot of empathy, but a lot of people don't want to listen.
Absolutely. Every time I have a guest on the Turn Coffee into Clients podcast show, I also give you an opportunity to ask me a networking question, which could be to do with coffee.
No.
So do you have a question for me, Clayton?
I do indeed, and this is a question that a lot of people are going to have. A lot of people email me constantly. I get one of these emails every single week, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. And these are people who just say, oh, can we meet for a coffee? Now I'm thinking, I've got coffee in my house. There's no need for me to meet you for a coffee. However, the key thing is that what people want to ask is that how possible is it for me to be in a position to get business out of a coffee meeting? Will I just go to one meeting, get business, bam, bam, bam? Or will it take me a period of time to get a response from a coffee meet or get business? Is coffee meetings just really a warm-up? Is it an introducer? Or can you go in there and get loads of business off one coffee meeting?
Absolutely. That is a brilliant question, Clayton. So you have asked the question almost in 3 sides. Can I get business for a coffee meeting?
Yep.
Is there a period? And really, what's the productive way to achieve that I'm going to get something out of it?
Correct.
Okay, so the first thing here, as a networking expert, I've been doing this for 10 years, so I've seen a lot, and there's nothing else I have not seen with a coffee meeting. Now, I like to keep things simple. Networking is hard work. You spend so much time attending a networking event and then have to book a coffee. So one of the biggest things I'm going to say, you have to have a plan. Nothing in business can work unless you have a plan.
Correct.
And you need to look at it from a strategic level.
Correct.
Because if you think business, you're going to get business results. If you think strategically and your cash flow management, it's a money, finance and time situation. So you want to get those strategic money, time results back. Mm-hmm. Now, what I do like to share with my clients, how to keep things simple, is the power of 3.
Okay.
So you know you're not wasting your time, and also you have a focus. So where you ask the question around what period of time, if you stick to 3 coffee meetings a week, say, that means you're going to be very strategic who you're going to have coffee with.
Is that these 3 individuals or different people?
Whoever you want, as long as it's 3 coffees a week, because you have to have time answering emails, going to events, meetings. So stick to 3 key coffees.
Okay.
And the reason I say 3 key coffees with 3 individual people, so that you plan who are those type of 3 people that are likely to buy my services. Right. So that's how you make a coffee meeting productive. Mm. So you can control what the outcome is going to be. Yeah. So sometimes what I always say is look at the end result first of what you wanted to achieve. So your question included, well, how can I make that coffee meeting productive that I win a client? So start with the end result. I would like to win a client at the end of the coffee meeting. So therefore, you then decide I need 3 people each week. Who should those be? And then that's how you go about choosing and booking that coffee meeting. And then when you're at that networking coffee up meeting, you then ensure that the process on questionings and answering, how you present your business, is managed and maintained by you. That's your bit.
Yeah.
So definitely the power of 3, stick to 3 each week and keep that focus.
Okay.
That's
Makes
great.
sense.
And lastly, before we end the show, I would love for you, Clayton, to share what goals do you have for 2020? What would you like to achieve?
Ooh, well, I don't know. People are getting very excited about 2020.
Yes,
because
and Brexit is just around the corner.
Brexit and Megxit. Mm-hmm. It depends who's going to go first. Is it going to be Britain out of the EU or Meghan out of the UK? So who knows what's what. I think in real practical terms, I think as far as we're concerned, it's a continuation of 2019. 2019 was very, very productive. We re-engaged with some clients, got on board some new clients, so that was really good. So we want to keep the momentum going.
Excellent.
Number 1. So number 2, we'll be on the 18th year of PRMS. So that causes for some kind of celebration, so details will follow. Mm-hmm. Number 3, the Cash Flow Show is going into its 2nd season now, and we've got some serious guests lined up. It will be more of the same, more real people, real business, real talk, and that's what we'll be doing there. So there's a lot of exciting things happen, but the key thing is automation, delegation.
Thank you so much, Clayton, and thank you for being a guest on the show.
You're most welcome.
So guys, you have been listening to Turn Coffee into Clients podcast show. For more information on this podcast show, please visit the website turncoffeeintoclients.com, and we do have an upcoming seminar where you can actually meet myself, the host, Bella Networking Guru, the networking expert and networking speaker, which will be held on the 17th of February at 6:30. And if you would like more information about our guest Clayton Coke and PRMS Limited, details will be given on the description box, and I really recommend that you tune in to his show, Cash Flow Podcast Show, which is a weekly show. I've listened to it and it's really great for various different tips, and he has some great guests on the show. And guys, please don't forget, tune in next week when I'll have another guest on my show, and we'll be talking about all things networking, how to win that coffee off, how to win that client after a coffee. And guys, have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you next week.